Well, welcome everyone. Anyway, I'm John Dupuy still, last I checked my license. And this is Dr. Elizabeth Krasnoff, one of our new favorite people at iAwake Technologies, as she has really collected a lot of information and research on the sound technology that is our thing. And it's been super inspirational and helpful, and just help guide us, maybe not in changing what we're doing, but definitely in changing the understanding of why it's working the way it is and the languaging of it. It's been a renaissance for us here, the work you've done. And as they say in Fox News, you're not a real doctor. you're you're a doctor of transformational psychology, is that right?
That's correct. Transformation.
Oh,
it's in School of Consciousness and Transformation, and my program is Transformational Studies. And the transformation that I study is sound, the power of sound to transform us. And I want to start by saying really how special it always is. This is the second time I've been here to speak with you, because from really the time that I started researching binaural beats, which is what my dissertation is on, about 4 years ago, iAwake has been one of my favorite companies. It's a leader in the industry. And in all of my presentations and lectures, I heavily promote your company for its integrity of vision and purpose and highly effective songs and formulas. So for me to come out the other end of the chute and finish and complete and publish and now be here talking with you, it's a really nice full circle. So thank you for having me back.
Yeah, and don't mind if we quote you on that. That's actually quite humbling. It brought tears to my eyes, but thank you for that recognition and acknowledgement. I really appreciate it. But we are not here to talk about that. What we're here to do is talk about a piece of music that you created. And the more I know you, you're talk about a Renaissance woman. You do a lot of stuff, and you're obviously a very creative soul. And you sent us a piece of music that I'll let you explain. And I was just blown away by it. And I said, this is great stuff. So yeah, I'm a musician also, so I have a lot of technical questions and how you did it and all this stuff. But tell us about the heart and soul of what it is and its name, and then maybe about how it came about.
Sure. And I love that you started with the word Renaissance. I really identify with the artist scientist. I started as the artist and then became really focused on the science. And it comes together in a piece like this. So I've been working on this sound for 20 years. The track that John's talking about is called NOKE, N-O-K-E, which stands for No One Knows Everything. And the inspiration for this sound is Peter Gabriel. I'm sure everybody knows that name. Peter Gabriel brought together a world sound on his label, many different sounds, many artists from many countries. And it was this beautiful collaboration. And my song was inspired, the whole album, Desert Journey 1 and Desert Journey 2, NOKE is on the album Desert Journey 2, was inspired by Peter Gabriel's album, The Last Temptation of Christ. And as a matter of fact, the violin player on this song is the violin player from The Last Temptation of Christ.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was really lucky to bring him in. And the other influence in this song, so it's written together, me and my longtime 20-year collaborator, producer, Randy Imada. And we brought in a number of soundscapes. We use instrumentalists that use ancient instruments, old flutes or old guitars or mandolins from their cultures. And so Shankar here, that's the name of the violinist, has a very special sound that he makes, an electrical violin sound. And then that wove together with this incredible story. So as I was weaving this track together, I was talking with my friend Becky, who was sharing a lot with me about her personal experience. And she had, her baby had a brain swelling. The word is complicated, it's encephalitis, a brain swelling. And the doctors advised her to release the pregnancy, and she did not. She kept the child and she delivered the child. They were concerned about, you know, a very difficult life for this child. And the child is now 6. And he does have seizures from time to time, and maybe he's a year or 2 behind in school, but he's otherwise perfectly normal. And interestingly enough, not only the dearest love you could possibly imagine, but a bit of a musical prodigy. And just to listen to the story of this mother, my dear friend, and the devotion that she had to bring this life forward and to bring this gift into the world, I crafted the song around her experience and her devotion. And so no one knows everything, but everyone knows something, is what I sing in the song. Reminds us that each of us has a very special gift, a very particular series of wisdoms and understandings to bring to this world that no one else can tell you about. No doctor, even if the doctor has expert, and doctors do, and we listen to doctors when we need to, but sometimes there's a story in your heart that needs to come out, a devotional story. And so this track really became about not only her story, but the very strong message to listen to your own voice and bring forward your own message. And it's very meaningful to me because I am deaf. I have a lot of hearing issues, deafness and misophonia and tinnitus. And I was very isolated as a child. And it took me a long time to find the world and join the world. And music was the way in. So for me, almost music was healing before it was art, before it was healing. And back into and then into the science of why it was healing. And so you'll also hear in this song some chanting. I have some Sanskrit chants in here. They're open source material that I call this frequency music because I started with the frequency of devotion, and then I would unearth chants or various phrases that would support that devotion. And so everything is of a piece. The lyrics, the beautiful music. Even when Shankar came to play for us, we said, this is what we're feeling, and this is the emotion we want to express. So it's in every layer of the track. And then, of course, the final layer is the science of the binaural beats. So the binaural beat formula that I put in this track is called moving meditation. I have a practice with clients. My practice is called sound medicine. I tend to see in my practice people that are very introverted or at least contemplative. They are very comfortable with the journey within, sitting down, meditating, being still. Well, what was interesting was over time, all these folks had spouses or children or friends that said, I couldn't possibly do that. I couldn't possibly sit down in a chair for 50 minutes with you. That's not happening. And I would hear myself saying over and over to them, well, what do you do? How do you focus your mind? And, you know, it's always, I move. I like to ride my bike. I like to hike. I like to walk. Even just doing the dishes calms me. So this track has, it's moving meditation. It has the meditation binaural beats in it, but you'll see it's a moving track. So the time I would listen to it would be when I am traveling on a plane, when I'm walking, when I'm hiking, if I have to do the dishes, dancing around the house. You know, we've had a lot of indoor time with the pandemic, needing to take a lot of journeys without actually journeying. So these are all times when I would say, well, hey, try moving meditation. So right now what you'll hear is first I craft an inspirational track. So This is this track is about 4.5 minutes. And it was the inspiration for the binaural beat track. It does have the binaural beats in it, but as John and I have discussed, you do need to listen for a good 8 to 10 minutes, everyone, right? 8 to 10 minutes to get, at least to get the binaural beat effect. It starts sooner, but really for the maximum effect, 8 to 10 minutes. So we'll listen to the inspiration track right now, and in about a week, I will be launching the very first binaural beats track based off of this NOKE inspirational track that you're going to hear today.
So you have people loop it, because how long is the track? It's 4.5 minutes, I think.
Yeah. So for the album, so this album has 3 tracks, and I've released, the first one is called Peace, and this is the second one called NOKE, and the third one that's coming out is called Success, and they're each only about 4.5, 5 minutes. So I say, if you want the binaural beats effect, you got to loop it at least twice. Yeah. But again, in a week's, maybe 10 days time, if you check back to my website is sound-medicine.com, and you can even sign up for the newsletter. There will be the full 10-minute binaural beat track. And that's the really exciting news about today's interview.
Awesome. Well, shall we do this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow, that was gorgeous.
Got to make the music that fills you up.
Yeah, I got two questions. You want to start a band, and when's the album coming out? And we definitely could release it through our, you know, our
Awesome.
iAwake thing. Tremendous.
Awesome. Thank you. So, so on the website right now, sound-medicine.com, there is a pull down menu for the songs. It's under Public Eye album releases. I guess we can put that link in the transcript. And there are the two albums that are written in this sound. And the second album, Desert Journey 2, is the one that NOKE is on. That has 2 tracks so far released, NOKE and Peace. I release everything through CD Baby independently. They make it so easy, John.
Yeah.
And I don't even press the CDs anymore because nobody has CD players.
Yeah, we at iAwake, about 20%, I think, it's ever growing smaller number wants CDs, and we have a place that does them one at a time, so we don't have to have a warehouse full of them. So it makes it a little more expensive, but we still do that. And but hey, before we started recording, you were mentioning how you wrote this thing, that process. Could you say a little bit about your experience of birthing this music?
Yeah, for sure. So it'll start with an inspiration. So this time the inspiration was that desert sound. We were coming off the pandemic, and I was sort of coming out of one sound into another. This will be my 8th album, and as an artist, as you know, your music changes as you change over the year. And so this desert journey for me was about really embracing that magical, mystical transition journey across the desert. It's a really powerful symbol and metaphor. Think about it. Well, it's biblical. It's in many traditions. And and the sound that really embodied that for me was Peter Gabriel's album. So I remember I was listening to the album, and then Randy and I will start to work together. Randy creates the sonic landscape, the environment. And so I'll send him some stuff. He'll send me some stuff. We kind of back and forth contemplate a sound. It always starts with the groove, right?
Yes.
And there's this amazing percussionist that I've been working with for quite a long time, Letty Garcia. And Randy and Letty will sit in the studio for a day and get so those are all organic sounds in there.
This is not computer generated.
There are some in the loop are, okay? But so I would say this is a blend, and I don't know what the blend is. Is it 50-50? It's some sort of blend like that. So we'll use some computer generated, but the percussion, all those groove elements that Letty lays down brings in the real feel. And so then we have the groove pocket. Randy is a gifted keyboard instrumentalist. He does all of the keyboards or piano. And then he has a giant Rolodex there. He's in Los Angeles, all the musicians of Los Angeles. And we'll start to reach deep into the community for the sound that we're looking for. And we edit together. I don't know about you when you listen back, but when I listen to my tracks, if there is a hair out of place, I have to stop the song. So it's this process of listening through however many times and fixing however many things till I can close my eyes and float through the song with nothing disturbing me, no hair out of place. And we'll get the track like that. And then I sit there with that same, you're just holding, and emotion is a frequency, right? Musicians are really dialed into that. I think it's a special gift they have, that they can play and let that emotion just channel through them. It's so healthy. And I will literally use the internet as another brain and I start using my keywords like I'm doing my PhD research. I start using keywords and I find different mantras and snippets. And then the English words are from me. Those come from me. This mantra it's called Medicine Buddha mantra. Tayata Om Bikanza, Bikanza Maha, Bikanza Ratsa, Samukate Soha. And it's a chant that's recited for success and to eliminate suffering, right? And it's also for healing and to benefit people or animals, even when they're healthy. And so that to me really held the frequency of what I was doing here. So that went in the background. And then the word, I used, all my songs before used to be, you know, classical pop format, verse, chorus, verse, chorus, bridge, chorus. But to be honest with you, I feel like the sounds, it's the vowels that are important. And so I need less words right now to say what I want to say. So then Randy will fly up to, or drive on his motorcycle up to San Francisco, and we record my vocals there. I have a killer microphone. The microphone is my instrument. And sometimes I'll record some bowls or kalimba or something onto a track. Sometimes I'll play and sing the bowls at the same time. And that's it. That's the whole process. Then he puts the track together in Los Angeles, and then I take it from there.
And do you sing a lot? Because you sing so beautifully on this. I mean, is that something that you do?
Well, you touch on an interesting moment there for me, because, you know, being half deaf, learning to sing on pitch, that was not something that came natural to me. I didn't even feel like I deserved to pick up a microphone. When my friend Jean Renard took me into the studio finally 28 years ago to buy my equipment and set up my first recording studio, took me into the music store, my knees were shaking. I didn't want anybody to hear my voice. I didn't want them to see how I played the keyboards, that I was not a virtuoso. I mean, to go from the internal place this all held for me to actually show people, and I'm not being humble, I really can't sing like everyone else sings. That's not humility. But I went through years of voice lessons, 10 years with the Seth Riggs method, which is a really powerful method in Los Angeles. I did a year of the Tomatis method, which is Alfred Tomatis created it for opera singers who lose their pitch from singing their loud tones. And little by little, and then a really significant thing happened. The hearing aid industry went from analog to digital. So in the beginning, so your ear, I think it has like 128 channels, so refined. I had 3. It's like trying to make a whole Picasso with like the primary colors. What are they? Red, blue, and yellow. And then as I got a digital hearing aid, I got more and more and more channels. So now I can sing. Now I could sing you something, but in the beginning I could not. And I don't know if you saw that amazing series on Netflix about pop music culture. It's a 6-part.
On my watch list. Yeah.
Okay. There's one on auto-tune, which I watched with great interest, right? T-Pain and Cher, they got skewered for using auto-tune. Well, people like me, we couldn't have done it without auto-tune. Auto-tune really, and so I would like sing a track and it would get auto-tuned, and then I would play that track and sing to that track over and over and over again to tune my ear so that I could then sing it in pitch. So I had to work so hard for this.
I know. That's so amazing, you know.
20 years.
I mean, I'm kind of I think I had some talent as a singer, but I know you have to work at it. And I didn't have any of those handicaps at all. And
yeah,
so
even with a natural voice.
Deep bow, you know, for taking somebody that's something that's a handicap and making it a glorious strength. I mean, that's a great story.
That's you know what, you really have the gift for putting your finger on the core message, because one of my core healing messages is what you just said. Whatever you think is your weakness is your gift.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't shy away.
Yeah. And Jung said one time that God comes through the inferior function.
Oh, I love that.
Isn't that great? Yeah.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. It's a beautiful process. And what I love about making music with someone, particularly if you've done it for a long time, like Randy and I have, you have a special language. Is it the language of the heart? Is it the language of God, the language of spirit? What is it? But when you meet other musicians and music makers and find that unified sound, you have deeply connected in a way that it's almost impossible to find words to explain. It's so healing.
Have you thought of doing this as a live performance once the world begins to open up a little more again?
Oh, you know something? And again, you've asked an amazing question. My last album in the previous style, which was a little more dark wave, I would sing the tunes live through a frequency corrector, not a pitch corrector, an actual really cool frequency box, because we were using a lot of really interesting tones and sounds on the vocals. And that was when I realized that something magic was happening here, that these frequencies were doing things to people in the audience, and that there was so much more to music than what we all conceived of as an entertainment form. We knew it moved us, but why? Well, it's been years, and it's been like 2 degrees and 3 certifications later. Now I understand what happened. So if I were to go back after, you know, things are ready, I would definitely go back in through those frequencies. For me, it's the magic place of music. Really dialing in that place in the room where we all meet. Yeah, it would be a beautiful live show. So thanks for
Yeah, yeah. I think of Peter Gabriel's like concerts in the round. I've seen him. I've seen him on YouTube. I've never experienced it. Oh my God.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, yeah, you guys check it out. Peter Gabriel live, and it'll come up. Absolutely. I think it was filmed by Disney or something. They did a major production of it, and it's one of the most beautiful, ecstatic. Uh, anyway, the words fail.
Look that up.
Yeah. Well, Elizabeth, thank you so much. It's so great talking to you again. And I mean, you hit on 3 of my favorite things: music, creativity, and transformation, you know, and you're just like putting it all together, and you're so creative, you know, and it's like all the technology doesn't do anything unless you have a creative human soul or souls behind it to use it in a way that works. And, you know, we know it works when it moves us.
We're in your wheelhouse, the wheel that moves. So I want to remind everybody of all the incredibly amazing creative tracks on John's website, on iAwake. There's such an incredible depth, so many levels to look through there. Listen to all this stuff, it works. Just the music works, and then you layer in the binaural beats, and you really have some transformational power at your hands, at your fingertips.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Okay, deep bow.
Thanks so much.
Thank you, everyone, for being here with us.